And hadn't been going out at all, and Wilma got me going to T's Lounge on Tuesdays, and then that transpired into me going to Skipper's parking lot, where I first saw Ibrahim perform. Comedy was it wasn't in the parking lot, it was actually inside.
Mm-hmm. There was a show in the parking lot once.
I was there for that too.
That
and you cool. Definitely had a towel on.
I did have a towel. I don't remember where I was coming from though. I think, no. I was coming from the river.
Were you? Because I was like, this dude's vibe is chill. Like, he's just got a towel, like, around his neck. And I thought you'd just gotten out of the shower and walked down from, like, your place or something.
Oh, no, I was at the river, and I was pretty, like, cold and wet. And I just, had my towel on.
But most recently, I didn't... something I didn't know about you is that you're also into like the similar field as me, like counseling and psychology, and wanting to do that. I also want to talk today too about like, I saw maybe it was like a post from last night about your origin story or something. I don't know if that's like more.
Oh yeah. So what happened was I was doing a show this weekend with Blade Frank. He's another local comedian, and Mr. Chris Porter, he's a headliner. He came into town. He headlined at the Comedy Club Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And a lot of my set that I was doing was based, I guess you could say, my origin story of who I am. And a lot of the jokes were just written based off of experiences that, like, I've lived and, where I came from. I grew up in New York City, and, I started off my set with that, and I kind of just went down a rabbit hole of things that are authentic and originated from me. So the post just says Ibrahim giving his origin story. So,
yeah, where in New York?
I was born and raised in Harlem. So I lived there for till I was in middle school. And then my mom moved to Queens. My dad stayed in Harlem, Bronx area. So I'd, go back and forth, see my mom, see my dad. Mostly with my mom in Queens, though. She lives in Jamaica, Queens.
Okay.
So not too far. If you've ever been in New York, anyone listening ever been in New York, not too far from JFK Airport. So it's pretty cool. New York's a big place. I love that place. So you may get into how I came here from New York?
Let's hear your origin to Spokane story.
So in summer, it's kind of crazy. So for those that, haven't seen me and are just listening, I am black. So you probably look at me and be like, yo, how did this black man come from New York City to Spokane, White Washington? So
yeah,
I grew up in New York my whole life, but I grew up and I was very fortunate and blessed to like do a lot of cool stuff as a child. My mom really wanted my brother and I to have the best experiences we could as children growing up in this world. And I got to do a lot of cool stuff. I got to fence. I got to do a lot of other cool things. I was a part of my YMCA. And I was always an open-minded person, right? And I did a bunch of programs in my Y. I grew up in my Y pretty much. I started off going to kinder care camps, swim lessons, summer camps, after school, all that stuff. And then I went to a summer camp one year. And then after that, it kind of introduced me to this leadership program during the school year, which took the kids from the summer camp and brought them together. So I did a leadership program for about 3 years, which introduced me to another leadership program. But this leadership program was called Global Teens, and that purpose of that program was to take high school students out the city of New York and bring them around the country and then bring them around the world. So it was a free program. The purpose of the program was community service, leadership, stewardship, and all of that. And I got to come to Washington my first year in the program. I was on the west side, which is a lot different than Eastern Washington. Kind of a different world in some regards. So I was there, but I got a really cool feel for just like Washington and being outside of my home. Because I've been to other places in the U.S., but, I haven't been this far away from New York in the U.S. And I was just like, wow, the United States is a really big place. Like, it's a really big, cool place. There's so many pockets of things like you won't even know about unless you go there. And I just was fascinated by that. But going forward into the program, I went to Haiti and I went to Colombia, and I just became a very open-minded individual, open-hearted. I was just open to whatever. So when I was looking for places to go to college, I just looked all around the country, and I looked at Washington, and I was like, okay, I've been to Washington. I think Washington's kind of dope. I found a couple of schools. I applied. I actually came to visit Whitworth up in North Spokane, and I actually got an honest feel for it. I liked it. I did like it. I liked the people I met, and I got this feel for me, and I kind of envisioned myself coming there and growing. I didn't really know what that entailed, but I just saw myself doing something different and growing. And about 6 years later, because I came here in 2018, it's like, yeah, like I've gotten way more than I even thought I would get from just doing that. I thought I was going to leave in the middle of, my time there, because I was just like, I had some really hardships. So that's how I ended up here, how I ended up staying here, my journey through college. A little longer, but in short, I wanted to do engineering at first. It wasn't for me. I didn't get a lot of support from my school, I felt like, and I just felt like giving up kind of. And I was like, maybe I should leave here. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. I was also a track athlete, so I ran track for my school. So when I went to visit, I met people from the team. I met the coach. That helped me get another good feel. And like I said, Spokane, very white place, right? Black man here. And I met another black person who was like, oh, there's not a lot of black people here, but if you come here, you'll you might grow. And it was like, that kind of helped give me some honest perspective. I appreciated the honesty. And I think that's just something I've always appreciated as I've grown into the man that I am right now, is honesty from people. So, but yeah, I was into engineering and wasn't for me. Got into psych. I got a real big interest in psychological trauma. And then from there, I got into intergenerational trauma, a much more specific factor. And I did a project on intergenerational trauma and how it affected, a bunch of different communities, but I specifically focused on the black community. And that's how I kind of found my way more into where I'm at in mental health. So.
Yeah, how long have you been doing mental health stuff? Or like
my job, I've been working for 2 years.
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
And now you're curious about whether or not you're going to go back in deeper into school with it.
Yeah, I want to go back to school, looking more into a medical route, but doing something medical and psych together. Just something I feel like it's calling to me. I feel good when I help people at my job, when I feel good serving others.
Yeah.
I feel like it's for me, and it's not for everybody, but I didn't like being a dishwasher.
No.
I could burn my hand a bunch, hot water and stuff, dealing with grease and muck and whatnot. I mean, if you like doing that, hey, cool. It's honest, hard work, and it taught me some stuff. But in the grand scheme, yeah, it's tough, man.
Mm-hmm.
In the grand scheme of things, doing this, because my mother works in a healthcare too, and she loves what she does, and I've been starting to love what I do, so I feel called and going down that route.
Yeah. Wait, were you recruited to do track then at Whitworth? Like, did you?
Yes, okay. I was an 800-meter runner. I ran cross country all 4 years. I ran track all 4 years, and yeah, so that was my thing.
That makes sense
fun.
Why that you ended up here, because I'm like, how the hell did you get to Whitworth?
Yeah, that helped. Well, they didn't go out their way to recruit me. I just reached out to them. And,
We're like, hey, I'm a runner. And
it's like, I'm a runner. It's like, oh, yeah, you're a runner? We need runners. We want runners. So come. And yeah, I wasn't even a good runner necessarily. I was just kind of an athlete at the time. So yeah, that's a whole other rabbit hole too. How running has changed my entire life.
Do you still run?
Oh yeah, I still work out a bunch. I'm happy that I was an athlete growing up. Like now I know how to. I love to run. I love to go for runs still. I love to work out. I still work out. I create my own workout routines. I'm very into my fitness. I currently train jiu-jitsu. I've been training since the beginning of the year, so it helps me being an athlete in all these other areas because I grew up swimming and fencing, did a lot of soccer, did a lot of basketball, and then I got into running towards the end of high school, and then that's how I kind of wanted to just stick with running, and then I ran here and stuff. So
that's something that actually made me connect with you when you were doing comedy. You were talking about being a lifeguard.
Yes. Well, I'm not I do swim
Or-
instructing.
Well, yeah, I used to be a swim
a side.
instructor too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a
That's
lifeguard. So when you talk, you have this joke about.
Cool. Yes. You could kind of say it, but I want to keep it a
There is a joke.
secret.
I'll keep it a secret.
Yeah.
But there's a joke that I really connect to that you talk about.
Yeah. Like, you know, it's funny being a swim instructor and swimming and stuff. So with comedy, I'm starting to pull a lot from at least my perspectives, the way I live, the things that I've lived through and experienced. And being a swim instructor, you know, is something I do on the side. And I've had a lot of funny experiences being a black man swim instructor in Spokane. You know, I don't know if there's any others here. Maybe if there are, please come find me.
Yeah.
Let's
You guys
start a coalition or start our own swimming pool or something like that. But yeah, no, I have a joke about it because funny stuff do be happen in there, and I'm just like, wow, this is kind of crazy, but it's funny. It's crazy. So
it's been years since I did it. I did it for like 3 years of high school. I got both like the lifeguard and then the swim instructor, so I would like teach swim lessons during the day. I thought it was a really fun job.
Oh, it's fun. It is fun. I think that's another thing I do like. Like, it can be a stressful, tiring job, especially if you're in the pool for over 2 to 3 hours because, you know, you get cold and wet. But teaching people how to swim, especially when they don't know how to swim, when they're afraid of swimming, when it's a young child who's afraid of the water, and I'm able to actually help them and, you know, get past that comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
I said it. I'm comfortable. I've learned how to become comfortable out of my comfort zone. So when I can help somebody else kind of learn some of those kind of things too, it's a good feeling because you could take that with you for the rest of your life, and it will help you.
Was this like coming to Spokane like way out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, but I didn't know what I was in for.
You had no idea.
I had no idea until now. Like, now I'm starting to realize, like, wow, like, coming from where I came from, like, I don't feel like anybody else I grew up with really went as far. Like, you know, people who I would have thought they came this far would have wanted to stay out. Because, you know, New York City, I grew up in New York City. You can go outside. There's trains, there's buses that will take you where you need to go to. You can go 5 blocks. You'll have everything you need. You know, if you're a kid, you know, you got GameStop. You got all the cool stuff there. You got everything, like, right down the street from you. You got your grocery store right across the street. You got the pizza store. You got the deli. You got the bodegas, you know. You got the deli cats, you know. People, you get whatever you need. Ooh, basically whenever.
Yeah.
24/7. Here it's like, like, Winco's open 24/7. The gas station might be open 24/7, but nothing's really open.
Food isn't open very late.
Yeah, nothing's really open that late. Things shut down pretty early. Even like bars and clubs shut down at like 2 or right before 2. New York or other really major cities, they stay popping, especially New York. Like, New York is legit like the city that never sleeps.
Yeah.
So,
what has been like the biggest adjustment or that you've noticed?
I don't know, because I feel like my time here has been in phases, so I've had to adjust to a bunch of different things. I think when I first came here, I had to adjust to being on my own, kind of. To not coming home and I have my mother there, someone to come talk to and, you know, kind of get some support from, just on, like, right there for me. My mom's a phone call away. I can call her anytime, but it's like I'm done with classes. I'm done with practice. I got to go do homework. I can't just go anywhere and just chill and just, you know, have family. So I had to kind of adjust to that. But that adjustment also came through in the form of like developing really strong friendships and creating a really strong community around myself. So it kind of covers for itself. But now, there's other things I gotta adjust to because I'm a full-time adult now. Not in school. I got a job. I gotta cook for myself. I gotta take care of this. I gotta take care of that. You got bills coming and stuff. So having to adjust to that, being so far from home and remembering that nobody's really here physically with you and your family. Because I have sort of a small family already. So it's just adjusting to those things. But I think also the culture shock for sure. I used to be a lot more just able to say whatever I want and expect people to kind of be like, oh, I'll say whatever I want to, kind of a little more, not necessarily unfiltered, but, not everybody gets everything here, I feel like, in the sense of like, not everybody, there's some people that live here that have never been further than Moses Lake or have never been further than, I don't know, North Idaho. So people's just, I had to adjust to, even still now, adjust to meeting people that haven't been too many far places and haven't been as fortunate to like get to have some opener experiences.
Yeah, that changes you. Yeah. Like it opens your mind, and
you meet some people that still kind of just believe in certain things that I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know that.
Like people are still thinking this.
Yeah, like they still think like, very racist, more microaggressive kind of things. Where it's like, oh wow, I didn't realize people exist kind of like that still in our modern society, but they do because, like I said, there's so many pockets of places around this country alone, and people they just kind of get comfortable to their pockets.
Yeah.
Like, people are comfortable in New York that I knew of, that grew up with, because everything is at their disposal. There's people that I grew up with that probably don't know how to drive, don't need to drive, because they got public transportation. I had to learn how to drive. That's another thing, too.
Whoa, when you came here?
Yeah, I kind of knew how to drive, but I really had to learn how to drive when I came here. And then I recently got a car like 2 years ago, but, that adjustment, too, had helped me, because that's like freedom. Freedom to go wherever you kind of want to go with a car.
More control.
But you got to put gas in it and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It's like having a horse.
Yeah, my New Yorker friends always say that. Like, well, we don't have to pay for car insurance or the car. Mm-hmm. And so, like, it's way more expensive owning a car.
Mm-hmm. It's extremely expensive. There's no reason to really own a car in New York City.
No. It's actually a huge issue. I feel like it's annoying.
Mm-hmm. There's too many cars in New York City. It's like, why do you have a car? I go back there sometimes, and I'm like, wow. Like, some people, I think it's just a status quo thing, though,
Anytime I stay there, like, I've never been in a car.
Yeah.
Maybe an Uber, I guess. But
Uber's
okay.
I'm
usually in the taxi or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's no way that I would never want a car there.
Yeah, need one. Just, find a couple good trains. It does. The one thing that does suck, though, if you live in certain areas, like where my mom lives, sometimes, like, there's one train that goes from there to, like, the heart of the city, which is the Long Island Railroad. It's like an express kind of train that goes. Yeah. It's like an inner borough, inner county kind of thing. Best way I can explain it.
Yeah.
But if you don't take that, you're probably gonna have to take the MTA, the Metro Transit Association, bus to the train, which can take like 20 to 30 minutes to take that bus to the train. Then you gotta take the train into Manhattan or wherever. So it's like a whole bunch of stuff. So that's one of the hard parts, depending on where you live in New York. But for the most part, you can get anything you want there.
Do you ever consider going back there?
I wouldn't mind like having a little like condominium, right? That's the thing, yeah. Having like a little something there, when I'm like rich and established and I'm on my, Bruce Wayne, philanthropist, billionaire, playboy status, and I have my one of my little low key things there, and then I got like another house somewhere else, another house somewhere else, and then like across the water in New Jersey, you have like, you know, there's Wayne Manor, then there's gonna be Ibrahim
Manor. Yeah, it's like
Ibrahim
Manor.
Ibrahim Palette. I don't know.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Like, what is happening with comedy for you right now? Are you like, you said you did 3 nights in a row.
Yeah, so I hosted a weekend at the comedy club. So
and you only started comedy 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know
I started
that.
like January. Well, technically I started in 2019. So I actually used to write poetry before I used to write poetry.
This origin story.
I used to write poetry because I low-key wanted to be like a conscious rapper. Like, I wanted to be like Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole. I wanted to be like, hey, yo, we got to save the world. You know what's getting crazy. You got to save these boys and girls. Something like that. I just wanted to, I don't know. I just thought it was cool. I was really in it. I love Kendrick Lamar, by the way. He's one of my favorite artists ever. He saved my life when I was in high school because I got in trouble and I did some really bad stuff. And I was like, wow. And I listened to one of his albums. I was like, oh, wow. Like, I need to do better with my life.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I just thought poetry was cool. I thought like that was a cool way, but like there's no money in it, and nobody really like cares when you're, you know, spitting, you know, rhythmically and poetically, not necessarily poetic, yeah, like do rhymes and stuff and rhyme schemes and wordplay, putting your heart out as much as they do if you're making music kinda or something, or that's another really hard art and territory to get into because anyone and everyone can do it. Just like anything else, but it's just, you know, getting people to get into that. But I wanted to do poetry. I did it. I wrote it, and I wrote it for a lot, and I performed it around my school a little bit. And there was one event where I wrote a monologue, and it wasn't necessarily poetry. It was just a monologue, but people really liked it. And the way I performed it, I guess, was very humorous, and people laughed. So people told me, "Oh, you're funny. Like, you know, you should do stand-up or something." This was 2019, but I didn't do stand-up. I still have the recording somewhere. I can show you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It was for this event at Whitworth that they have called Diversity Monologue, where they try to get students of a bunch of different backgrounds to perform a monologue based off of a certain topic. And that topic that year was called How Do You Come to Know Freedom? So I did my thing on that. People thought it was humorous. And I was like, you know, I should write more. If I'm funny, maybe I should, you know, become a rapper. That's what I thought, because I was listening to a bunch of music, and I was like, you know, I had friends that make music, and I'm like, you know, my friends make music, they make beats, they rap. Maybe I could hop on a track with them. We could start like our own little, like, you know, Spokane Wu-Tang clan.
Yeah.
Spokane Tang. I don't know.
It's like Spokane.
These chords are long. I didn't realize it, but. Yeah, it's what I kind of did for a bit, and then in 2020, I wrote poetry all through, like, 2019, 2020, 2021. At the end of 2021, there was another little event at my school, and I was going to write poetry for it, but I didn't, and I was like, you know what, I don't have any poetry for this event today. I'm just going to try to do stand-up. I just walked up to the microphone, and I just started talking, and people were laughing. I don't know what they were laughing about. But everyone was like, "Oh, you're funny. That was cool. That's good." So then, like 2 months later, it was January of 2022, and I went to open mic at the Spokane Comedy Club on a very snowy Tuesday, and I just walked up, did like 4 minutes. It was very just silly, goofy. I guess I don't remember. I don't have a recording of it. I liked it. It was fun. I kept going back to it and doing it, and went to some other open mics. I saw other local comedians, and I was like, oh, wow, this is kind of fun. But I didn't really take it that serious. I was just like, whatever, man, you know. And then I had graduated school, and I was like going through some other things. A bunch of other things happened. Just trying to figure out my life and figure out some things. But I was coming off of a really high point from graduating because I got to give the commencement speech.
I think I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah, I gave the commencement speech in front of like a couple thousand people. So it was an experience for me that was like, oh wow, like this is easy to talk in front of people. I want to go back and do more stand up. So I kind of tried to go out, but just because I was having a transition period from like graduating college to like figuring a bunch of other stuff out, I wasn't able to go and hit open mic for like most of the year, half of the year. After June, I wasn't really able to go. I mean, I went out of town a couple times, and I would hit up open mics in other places when I could, and then I would go. Only place I could go to because of my schedule in this time frame was Nito Burrito.
Oh yeah.
And they had open mics. A guy named Casey Strand, he would run open mic there, and I would go, and it would, there was a couple times it would just be me and him doing open mic. Like nobody else would come because it would just be a cold night. Nobody came out, or you had people because there was concerts in that area, Knitting Factory and stuff, and people would just come in, get some drinks, get a burrito, and catch a little bit of a crowd of people to listen. And this was me starting out still, like, So then I was doing that, and then I was just kind of dwindling my way back into stand-up as 2023 came in. Whenever I could hit up open mics, I would. I just couldn't because I worked in the evening at this time because I was still pretty new at my job. But then last summer in 2023, like around June, I ended up changing positions and getting a day shift position, and I wanted to do that so I can go out to open mic more. And I tell you, I think that's like top 5 best decisions I've ever made in my life because I was able to go to open mic every single night
of the week.
Whenever there was open mic,
or whenever it was,
I could go just because of my schedule. So
are you still hitting it like that? Or are you doing like?
Well, yeah, I'll get to that later.
Okay, sorry.
In a minute. But so I would do that, and then last summer I was just kind of doing whatever, and I was like, I really like it. I think one day I was with you. You had him on your podcast before, Anthony Singleton, a really great friend of mine. He's like a brother to me. Mm-hmm. We were somewhere, I forgot. We were at some open mic, and I was pretty pissed off about something because I felt like I did good, or I don't remember, but I was pretty pissed off, and we're having a talk about it. And I think that's when I knew I really started love stand up, and I wanted to take it more serious. So then I started writing a couple of serious jokes down, and I was like, I'm gonna work these jokes, and it's that pool joke actually. That's the joke.
That's one of them.
Mm-hmm. And I would work that and drill that consistently from all of last August, and then it paid dividends because then last year on my birthday, the day before my birthday, I got to host an open mic at the comedy club, and then from there, I've seen progress. I've just kind of gotten in the game. That was the moment I went from doing stand-up comedy to becoming a comedian. You can do something or you can become what you do,
Yeah.
So I was just doing it, but now I became it, and it's a part of my life. So then from there, I just would do stuff, and then I had another big show last October, which was my first big show in front of over 100 people. At it was a Halloween show we did. I don't know if you.
I was there.
Yes, that show, which was kind of crazy. That's my first time high stakes hosting, which I did okay. But you got to have those experiences.
Yeah, you do.
And one thing that was really tough about this experience, because I was thrown into the wolves, was because none of the lights were on. I could not see anybody in the audience. Dark. It was extremely dark for my set, so I couldn't see the audience's reaction. I just thought oh, I'm in the dark, just with my demons in the dark, I can do whatever I want. But that was another, all these times that I've done meh or I've had decent experiences have helped me get better. And I'm just getting better. I feel like I'm just getting better, and that's the name of it. That's what you should want. I know I'm going to have some days that are going to suck. I might have some days where I really bomb and I fail and I crash, and I might question why am I still doing it. But, that happened, but I still got some more opportunities. And I just kept grinding. I just go to open mic, keep grinding, keep working on jokes. And then this year is when I really started to see some of the fruits of my labor. I got to host, February, March were really big because I went to a comedy festival. I went to the Northwest Black Comedy Festival in Portland. And I submitted for it, and they liked me, and I ended up going there and, doing a little stuff in the festival.
That's huge.
So, yeah, that really gave me confidence, really told me, I can take this and do more with it. And then I was able to host a really big show Valentine's Day at the Comedy Club. I hosted some other guy named William Montgomery from Kill Tony. And, I had a little bit of a period after that where I I didn't see myself making progress. And that was a good moment for me to learn because I struggle with writing jokes. Like, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm like, if I write a joke, it has to be perfect. It has to be funny the first time I say it. But I'm learning, no, it's okay. It's not about being perfect necessarily. It's a process. It's a journey. I'm not supposed to be good all the time. I'm not supposed to be flawless. It's okay. We're strive for perfection, you know?
Yeah.
So I had this moment from maybe like mid-March to like May-ish where I felt a little snagging, or I was in somewhat of a slump. Then I went out of town. I went to a wedding in St. Lucia. I went home to New York City and visited family, and that kind of helped rejuvenate me as a person, and that helped me. So then I came back this summer and I just hit my grind, did some shows. Had a big show. It felt like a pretty big show in August. We did like an Under the Influence show at the Comedy Club, so we take a shot on stage and you do your
Were
first
you
set.
literally under the influence?
Yes, and then you leave and then you come back because you go to the bar next door and you take a couple of shots. You come back, then you do your set. It was amazing. It was pretty good.
That sounds hilarious.
But that was probably like
Never even
one
heard
of the
about that.
funnest show I've done. I think because I just got to feel it, But yeah, it's been a process. I tell you all that just to explain the 2-year process. It's been a lot for me, but I think at first I didn't really care, and then I saw that I really liked it, and I became more intentional about it. So the past couple months, it's like how I look at open mic now is, yes, I go out almost every night. Like I wouldn't say I treat it like a job because it doesn't feel like a job. I have more fun with it than I do at work, right?
The
so it's
9
not a
to
job.
5.
I try to go out every night or try to go out. It's like I treat it like working out, right? I'm an athlete. I've been an athlete, so I treat it like, all right, I'm not going to lift every single day. I'm not going to lift heavy every single day because that's how I kind of stump myself. You got to give yourself rest days. So I like to go, if I can go 3 to 4 times a week, that's ideal for me. If I can't, twice a week, So I just treat it like that, try to work on something, record myself, and that helps me. But it also just depends on my week. If I can go every night, perfect. Some weeks I'll be able to do that. Some weeks I won't be. But It's kind of just, find the consistency. If I'm preparing for a show, then I'm going to make sure I'm out every night before that show, just preparing, drilling some jokes, getting a feel for being on the mic, because I could take a week off, or if I had to go out of town for something, right, and I wasn't able to do open mic, I want to get myself reacquainted or comfortable, drill myself, practice. Rewatching my sets helps me a lot. So, yeah, but that's the whole kind of comedy progress in the past 2 years to where I'm at now. So this weekend was pretty big because this is my second weekend hosting at the Comedy Club. And it was good because I was able to have a solid set of jokes that I structured and told people. And it was pretty good audiences. All shows were pretty good audiences. So it seemed like people liked it. I opened, so hosting it feels like a little bit of a different art than just doing a regular open mic set or being a feature or even headlining. I've never featured or headlined in any of that stuff, but being the host, people don't know me. I'm not this guy people know. So when I'm hosting, one of my main roles is to be likable, to get people acquainted with me. When I first started hosting, I would try to wear the nicest outfit I could. The first time I ever hosted at the Comedy Club, I wore my best suit. I have a dark blue suit. I threw on my dark blue suit. I got to open mic. I had a tie on too and everything. I was looking like a businessman, you know what I'm saying? And
standing on your business.
Yeah, looking like business, standing on business. And I did that because people didn't know me and I wanted to make a good first impression. That's how it is. You host, make a good first impression. But hosting there's an art to it. There's an art to it, and I like it, and I want to master it before I try to do something else. But I've mostly been doing it for 2 years, and I just want to enjoy the process. I want to enjoy what I do. I don't want to feel stressed. Of course, there might be some stressors, but I don't want to be stressed. I want to love it. I want to keep loving it,
Yeah.
So
I think it's cool. I've kind of seen you then during that whole journey, maybe not your initial first time, but just your journey from the beginning.
Well, you saw me at Skipper, so like you saw me pretty premature. Right now, I'm like, that was like me as like a fetus. Now I'm kind of like somewhat of an infant. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're always. That's the one thing though, is I feel like even the best people that I've seen, they're always looking to grow. They're always looking to try to be better, and I think that's what, as humans, no matter where you are, like I can bring up athletes. I don't know. Some people don't like him, but LeBron James, he's always trying to be better.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's almost 40. He's gonna
look
be
at
40.
him at the Olympics.
Yeah, he's just
balling.
He's the best.
Yeah.
I'll argue that, and that's a hill I will die on. But
over Kobe, of all time, or like
all time, yeah, I think so. That's just me. I grew up in this generation though, and I've watched him.
Yeah.
You can have arguments and say whatever you want about whatever. Jordan is amazing.
Yeah, I watched Jordan my whole childhood, so I guess I'm also biased.
Yeah, so we're all gonna have our biases.
Right from our childhood, who you like connected with.
I think he's I think he is, if not one of. But my favorite growing up, one of them was Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah.
But it's good we're talking about athletes, because I do take this athlete competitive approach to how I do comedy.
Yeah, I liked your metaphor of that, because it really is like, because the very first episode I did of this podcast, the reason this exists was because I thought I wanted to do stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I don't know if it's for me. I was like, I am more introverted, like turned into extrovert. Not that comedians have to be extroverted by any means, because I think a lot of kind of introverted people go into comedy and like are able to hold stage presence, even though they don't really want to interact with humans on a daily basis. But yeah, I guess that kind of inspired this, because I was like, I want to do something where I'm talking. I don't know if I want to hold the but what you said about it being this constant practice, because when I see comedians, I'm like, oh, they're just like good at this already naturally. But there is an actual like practice and failing and rebuilding and drilling, and like you taking one joke and then drilling it.
Well, so that pool joke's another thing we can talk about. So when I was starting to do it, cool, people liked it. And then maybe like almost 2 months into it, people came up to me and like, there was one person who came up to me. I remember, why do you keep doing that pool joke? Why do you keep doing that pool joke? Why are you saying this? Why are you saying that? Why do you keep doing that pool joke? And I told them, because I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee. I was like, well, Bruce Lee once said, and this is true. You look at things, this is true. Bruce Lee once said, don't fear the man that practices 1,000 different moves once. Fear the man that practices one move 1,000 times.
Ooh.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's it. I kind of look at, like, when I'm, like, this weekend, the way I looked at my sets were, like, I tried to do it. So I'm a big animator. I'm a big nerd. I love superheroes, anime, giant monsters, Legos, whatever. I'm like, I have an inner child.
It's like the warning of like when they close. I think they close at 4.
Oh, okay.
So they're probably being like an hour.
No, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big nerd, so I sometimes like when I was growing up as an athlete, I'll look at things like, oh yeah, I look at things like I'm about to go battle my enemies, like I'm like Goku about to go fight Frieza or something. I've been watching this anime called Attack on Titan, and like I was looking at my sets this weekend as like a scene from Attack on Titan where this character named Levi, like he's nice with swords, and he was cutting up one of the bad guys, basically. And I just look at it like I'm trying to be as sharp as him, cutting up the audience, cutting up everything. So it's a weird analogy. I'm just goofing around.
That's you cutting up the audience.
Yeah, kind of. That's how I look at things. Like what analogy can I take from something I like and like, you know,
I like
parallel it to that.
I do that too.
Yeah.
That's funny. Like if I'm trying to get pumped about something or like get into it, I'm like, this is me doing this like this. Yeah. I joke about Batman all the time.
I love Batman. I'm a huge Batman, one of my favorite superheroes ever, and it's not because he's one of the best and he's one of the most iconic. It's like he really is.
He's my favorite.
Go.
But yeah, just like living on the streets of Gotham. Spokane always gives me kind of a Gotham dark energy vibe.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, because New York City is like
Yeah.
Gotham City, but there's a weird connection between people in Spokane and New York because just
Really?
like you coming here, like half my friend group moved to Manhattan
Really?
after high school and they all still live there. And I used to go stay there for like a month at a time, like in the summer. I actually have been applying to jobs in New York this last like year and thinking about moving there. We'll see if that happens though. There's a lot of moving pieces. I got like a sabbatical for a year. So I was like New York or Atlanta. So I'm looking at both cities.
Hey, man, I think if you could get out, because you grew up here.
Yeah, so I grew up and left and came back.
If you could get out, and see the world. This is just to anybody listening, anybody that's young, anybody that's what. I'm young too, I guess you can say.
Yeah, how old are you?
Old enough.
Oh my God.
But I whatchamacallit. Yeah.
Opening your mind and move. You talked a lot about that at the beginning.
Yeah, like you should do it. Try it. If you
That's-
don't like it, you can always come back to wherever you want to. But like, just see what's out there. You never know. Like, I don't want to stay in Spokane forever, but hey, man, who knows at this point? If I got a nice house somewhere,
You'd stay.
Get some chickens, get some bees.
That's my goal. I want bees and chickens.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I left. I went to University of Montana, then moved to Italy, then Bellingham.
Really?
Yeah.
Italy?
Yeah, I lived in Florence, and then that's my number one request as a school counselor to my students is you have to get the fuck out of here. At some point, you have to like just see something else. And the same thing you're saying, I always say that's my only wish for kids from Spokane. Like,
it's my wish for kids everywhere. I mean,
yeah, anywhere. Even if you're from New York City, like I've never thought about that. I'm like, oh, they have everything and they see everything, so they don't need to leave. But I'm like, something I don't know if we talked about this on the episode, but you talked about being comfortable. Like I always say that about people in Spokane. You could literally just be comfortable doing jack shit here. No one's gonna push you or ask anything of you. You can just be stagnant.
Yeah.
You have to want to hustle here and do things. There's not like this competitive nature, I feel like, personally. Here, you have to kind of pursue that, find community like that. It's not.
Well, I'm in competition with myself.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, if you want that competition, you have to seek that.
New York isn't.
There's a grind to New York.
There's a grind to New York. It's a hustle. It is a hustle. It is a hustle. Everybody, you gotta out hustle the next person if you want to be. If you want to be something, you want to be the big one. Here, like, yeah, in a way. And I'm not gonna get into all that, but like for comedy, like I do have to hustle. I gotta be out. Like to get better, I have to be out. I gotta be doing my thing. I gotta be working on something. But for what was it? For like, here's an example. Last year, that Halloween show. Yeah. I was out hustling, giving people flyers. Yeah. For that show. Hitting the street, doing it the old-fashioned way, and that's a different kind of hustle. So. But it was a competition with myself because I've never done anything like that before. Oh, yeah, you're a Spider-Man. Yeah, pushing myself to be better. So.
No, but that's a great way because you had to, like, really, like, it's like leaflets. Like a politician has to hit the streets, like, trying to get votes. Like, you also have to do that. And I would say Anthony has been watching him hustle for the comedy scene is very inspiring. He hustles like nobody else, man. He does it. But I think. And hey, man, when it comes down, think about it. Well, I'm gonna get sidetracked, but essentially, as Black people, like I feel like hustling is kind of a part of Black culture in a way of like we came from nothing. We came from people being enslaved here, and we broke free from it, and we have to hustle to be better. Like sometimes I was told growing up, like you got to be better than the next person because they don't look at you the same way, and you don't have equal opportunity, so you got to out hustle people. I was told that at a young age, so like having that mentality sometimes has some negatives, but it's just a part of us. I think it is just a part of us. We're always hustling. Me on an individual level, that's why I'm always hustling, going to mics. It's not necessarily in that scheme, but I just think it's just kind of ingrained when we just the hustle. It is like hustle hard, hustle smart, I think that's really important. I mean, and it is ingrained. Like I feel like any person that I'm friends with, a person of color, has to hustle, and they say that like they were told like, nope, you will be hustling. Yeah. No, like
I've been told that a bunch growing up. So it's just a part of me now, you know. But even New York, it's like the hustle there is different. Like, so I went to an all boys Catholic high school, and that was
Did you grow up Catholic?
no. My mom's Christian, my dad's Muslim, so
Okay.
I get my name from my father. So, you know, people think that they'll ask me, "Are you this? Are you that? Are you this? Are you that?" I'm just like, man, I'm Ibrahim. Good to meet you.
That's a Wilma and I's trauma bond, is we were raised in Catholic school.
Really?
Yeah, that's why when you said that, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, do you have this in common? I mean, you did go to Catholic school, so you do have that in common.
I only really went there because I grew up with dyslexia. Like, growing up, dyslexia was a huge challenge for me. So I went to I was blessed enough to go to like 2 schools that specialized in working with kids with dyslexia, but I wasn't getting enough there. My mother and I felt, and you know, me as a kid, you know, a lot of kids sometimes they won't have that introspectiveness to know that you know, maybe need more for myself to be better. And I, at like the time when I was 14, 15, I was like, you know, I need to do something more. So the school that I transferred into was better for me academically and athletically. So we just saw it, and you know, it was a lot different than what I grew up doing ever before. But I think it pushed me to be a lot better. Pushed me so much far. Just like coming here, I felt the first 6 months of me going and living out here, going to school out here, made me grow a year's worth. 6 months equated to like a year's worth of growth for me. Just because all the stuff that I had to go through, all the culture shocks, all the things I did on my own, and I wasn't like left for the wolves to be on my own. My family still supports me. My family loves me. They're happy for me. They're happy I'm doing what I do, but it's just like they're not here at me at my immediate, you know, call.
Yeah.
So having that experience made me grow so much, and I had to kind of hustle a bit. I had to just, you know, learn what that meant. But I think being from New York, we got a different kind of hustle. We got a different kind of like swagger than anybody else. I'm not saying people anywhere else aren't cool. Everyone has their own kind of hustle, their own kind of swagger. But I feel like we New Yorkers, I'm from Harlem, by the way. So like Harlem, like we just, I don't know. We just get Harlem. It's all of us, you know.
I spent some time in Harlem the last time I was there. I spent a lot of time in the Bronx.
Bronx is cool too. And all the places, like all the real ones, all the real ones, you know, that be putting in that hustle, putting in that work. I just feel like we just got that in us. So I think I took that here with me, going to school, doing stand-up. It helps me.
Yeah. Ooh, have you done comedy yet in New York City?
Yeah, I went to open mics. That's a whole different animal that
What was that like compared to here?
Well, first off, you go to an open mic, most places you got to pay to do open mic.
So, like, the comedian is paying to do open mic.
The comedian is paying to go and do a set of open mic in a dark room with other comedians that don't care, never going to care. They're also not that funny. And, you know, you're just, I don't know. It sucks. It does suck. I wouldn't move back to go and do open mic there. Like, if I were to get to a point in my career where I can go and do some big shows
you're actually booked.
And I'm actually booked there, oh, yeah. But I'm not going to go there and pay you $5. So, look at it. So, the best places, you're going to probably pay $5 and maybe have to buy something at their bar.
I went to open mic there a couple times.
Yeah, and it's not really, you feel so, like, nothing because there's no audiences there. Nobody's going to leave work in New York City to come and watch open mic on their, like, off time because it's just, nobody cares. It's too busy. They got other stuff going on. It's other people aspiring to be comedians and aspiring to do stuff. It's a whole different there's a whole different politics to it too, and just trying to be successful. You got to be friends with this person. You got to know this person. It's a different ball game, and it honestly doesn't feel healthy. It's cool to go there every once in a while, visit my family, hit up open mic, work on a few jokes, but it's not somewhere starting off. You could start off and be good. You just gotta find your way around and navigate. But it doesn't feel like it's for me. It's too, you know, there's no community. There's no community. Here's a community. We do have a comedy community, which I really like. we have a community. I think that's what makes us special. We got a community. We got open mic almost every night. So, we got the comedy club here that fits over 300 people at its capacity. So we got something. We got a nice little special something, and I feel like it's gonna grow a little more. Some more growth to it.
Even just the couple years that I kind of joined my, Wilma going, it's grown so much. Just since you've started.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. When I started, it was different when I started, too. There's some other things that I peeped, but now it's, more opportunity to get up.
Like Kevin Hart coming here and doing that.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Hart coming here. That's cool. You got some people coming, big people coming to the comedy club here or going to,
I've seen some big people there.
Going to the arena.
Yeah.
The different little theaters.
What is that thing called? That soccer place. Why am I forgetting the name?
Stadium something.
Yeah, haven't they had
that's where the outdoors
Kevin Hart thing,
went.
Yeah.
Heard that was amazing.
What is that guy's name who opened? That's
Charles.
Local.
Charles
yeah,
Hall?
he's so
Charles
good
Hall
too.
Jr. is amazing. He's one of the best.
Yeah.
He's great at what he does.
Wasn't he at the Halloween show?
He was amazing. He's always been. He's one of the first people I saw too. I was like, wow, this guy's really good.
Yeah.
I'm like,
especially
wow,
Spokane vibe. I was like, damn.
Who is this guy? He's really good. He lives here. I didn't know that. This guy is really. He got me watching people like him. Chris Jessup, a bunch of other people that I just seen when I first started. I was like, wow, these guys are good. They've been doing it for a little bit. There's
some actually really good comedians here.
Yeah, we got some really good. I look at it as they're let's give it a anime superhero character power scale. You got some people in the top 10 most powerful characters. I'm Ibrahim. I am not in the top 10, so I have to train to be my strongest so I can battle the top 10.
And that's where you're motivated to hit.
Yeah, but I'm not I'm not literally yo, I'm gonna go and beat these guys. I'm gonna go kill these guys. But I'm no, they inspire me to want to be better. They want me. They make me want to keep working. They make me want to keep grinding.
Mm-hmm.
They make me want to keep being strong at this and working at it. So I think I've gotten a lot better, but I know I want to get a lot better.
Yeah.
I know I want to be great at this. I want to be. But I said I want to continue to love it and have fun.
Do you have any upcoming shows?
I'm gonna be doing a couple audition shows. Not in this area. Not in the general Spokane area. I'll be going over to Draft Zone in Idaho, Post Falls, Idaho, to do a little audition showcase there thing. And then I'm going a couple of days after that in October. I'll be going to the Tacoma Comedy Club to do it's called The Voice comedy competition. Yeah, I guess it's set up I've never watched The Voice.
The show The Voice?
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of set up like The Voice, and I'm gonna go and do
curious.
Jokes.
Are you singing?
No, comedy. I can't sing. I don't know how to sing.
Oh, so it's like a competition like that?
Yeah,
okay.
Something like that, I think.
Based off of that, but with comedy instead of singing.
That's another thing, too, though. Sometimes what I've learned is, I could be doing fairly well, and I'll be like, oh, wow, I haven't got a show coming up. That feels a little odd, feels a little off. Am I doing something wrong? Oh. But sometimes it's just a part of it. At least
there's
maybe at the
lulls, probably.
Yeah, there's kind of lows, I think, especially this early for me. Maybe that's just it. Way it is. I gotta keep working, keep networking, keep trying to put myself out there. Maybe go to another town and try something out there, network with other people. But I'm now kind of reframing from telling myself, oh, just because I don't have any shows means I'm doing poorly. Maybe it's just not my time at this moment.
Yeah.
You just gotta keep grinding.
Do you want to do acting? Is that?
I would love to do acting. Actually, that's what I initially wanted to do. Was acting. During the pandemic, I went back home to New York and I did school online. I worked out and I watched a bunch of TV and movies. And I was watching this show called Power with 50 Cent. And 50 Cent he grew up in the area where my mom lives now. And I was like, whoa, 50 Cent. He makes music and he made this show. This show's pretty cool. What if I was like 50 Cent and I acted or stuff?
Why not?
Yeah, that was kind of my philosophy, my idea. And then I started watching a bunch of other HBO shows, and I was like, oh, wow. Well, that show's not on HBO, but I was watching other HBO shows, so I was like, wow, these are some really good shows. What if I was in a show? I was watching Euphoria. I was like, oh wow, like what if I was in Euphoria? I don't want to be in that.
I have not watched that show yet.
I
kind of want
cool.
to.
It'd be interesting to be in it, you know. I watched a lot of Sopranos, a lot of The Wire, all those shows, those classic HBO shows, other movies. And I was just like, yeah, man, it'd be cool if I could be in a movie, maybe. I don't know. It looks fun. And then I did improv in college too for a semester, which helped me. I did that right at the time I started stand up. So
I could totally see you doing that.
Yeah, I did it, but I probably wouldn't do it. I probably wouldn't go do improv shows right now. I'd probably go to improv classes more if I could find something.
What about what's it called? The Blue Door Theater.
Yeah, they're cool in town.
Have you done that?
I've been there before. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I know some people there, but
that's where like Wilma started,
and
my friend Matt Slater. Have you met him?
Maybe I've seen him.
Yeah, but anyways, they were super into improv. I've been curious about improv.
Improv is pretty cool. I think everyone should try it. It's kind of fun. It's one of those things that are like you're gonna have to put yourself out your comfort zone kind of deal, because it's like you're coming up with brand new ideas on the spot, acting them out, using your body as an instrument. And that's why I think it's great. I think if I was able to do that type of stuff as a kid more, and I was like, oh, this stuff is out there, I might have never wanted to go to college. I mean, let me just try to go straight into acting or something. But I'm happy I went to college and I got a degree, because so many experiences that will live with me forever. That's where I found out, and I got into the stuff that I like now. So
the psych stuff.
Doing stand-up. I wouldn't have probably found stand-up the way I did.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't find it. I feel like maybe it found me, kind of, because I didn't prepare to do it. It's like, oh, I'm going to go do it.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
As we wrap this up.
Was there any questions or anything you didn't ask, or any topics we haven't dove into yet? I don't know. My brain's a little just cooked from this weekend.
I know. I was like, you're probably so tired.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired.
Yeah. No, what I ask every guest this. I always ask them, like, well, did I ask you about that? About Spokane? I did ask you about Spokane, but, like, I always have them give words, like, their wishes for Spokane. Something you want for Spokane, or hope. Instilling hope.
I hope for Spokane to continue to grow. And grow into, not necessarily like a size thing, but just grow into, a cool place. Grow into, having all kinds of people here. Grow into having all of the arts and stuff, and having things for people to just come and expand themselves and just be better. Having it a nice, calm space for people to come, people of all backgrounds, and help us progress as humans. But one thing I've heard to say about comedy that I was talking to another friend about was that it's been a part of humans since early man, cavemen, drawings. Oh, this was ooga booga. This is funny, or court jesters and all those things. Oh, yeah,
and so true.
Speakeasies and all these things. People told
the history of comedy.
Yeah, I need to look more into that. But comedy has always been a part of humans and human society, and it's, I think, helped get us through dark times. And I think if you're listening, another thing for Spokane, come out and support. A wish for Spokane is come out and support local live comedy. Come back, let your guard down, listen to some laughs, come have some fun.
I've loved it, like seeing you guys do open mics and see people progress over the past couple years. Yeah. It's been really cool.
It's the name of it, just progress, have fun.
Yeah.
Don't stress, stay blessed.
Yeah, so nothing coming up that I can promote for you, or just look out for your Instagram. Like, what is?
Look out for my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. That's Ibrahim __ the Dream. Ibrahim the Dream.
And you post when you're doing comedy on there?
Yeah, I post it on my story typically. Are you gonna make an Instagram post for this? Mm-hmm. You just tag me in it.
Yeah, I'll tag you.
People can just follow me, hit me up. a celebrity yet. When I do, when I become a
But they can say when I knew, and I listened to him on this podcast.
Yeah, when I become a celebrity, I'm going to become a famous actor, comedian, philanthropist, and I'm going to join Illuminati.
Well,
I can't make jokes about that. There's a lot of bad things going on in the news.
Yeah, I really
I can't talk about
people are like, shit. Yeah, there's a lot of freaky shit going on in the news. But yeah, they will kick us out of here eventually.
Oh yeah.
But I'm also you've actually hit an hour.
Yeah, okay.
So that's impressive. I just want to thank you for coming out and doing this because actually Josiah is going to be next week.
Oh yeah, Josiah, he's great.
I love the comedians in Spokane. They've been very inspiring for me and like talking and just hearing that process because I have a lot of respect for comedians and their art. It's truly an art to me.
It's hard art. Very hard art because you never know who's going to be listening and what's going to hit with who's not going to like something. Like last night, my last show, somebody I don't think liked one of my jokes and it was kind of...
Did you hear about it?
Well, there's a part of a joke. I'm not going to explain everything, but essentially, probably didn't like it. And, hey, man, that's on them. Because nothing I do is serious. Essentially, really, when I'm on stage, kind of, it's just like...
I've seen somebody get pissed at you for a joke that I really, really liked.
What joke was this?
This was when we were at Baby Bar, and you were like... It was when they went from open mic to, like scheduled people, and you and Wilma were on the same night. And so this is like...
Oh, there was like a lady and I made some joke and she kept talking and kept... She was...
I got so triggered by that whole interaction.
Well, you know what's funny about that? She came up to me after and she kept talking to me, trying to pick my brain. But I smelled the alcohol in her breath. I was like, oh, she's just drunk and she's just like trying to be some woke white woman warrior or something, trying to... I don't know what she's trying to do.
It was weird.
Being annoying.
But yeah, I was impressed how you held that space still, even after this. Yeah, she was like not heckling you, but on the verge.
She kept talking. I was indulging it, and
and I was like, fuck that, I would roast this lady. But you were way nicer.
I kind of roasted her.
Yeah, you did.
But I do know I'm still learning.
You're clever though.
I'm still learning this stuff, and that's a whole different animal. Crowd work and dealing with audiences and people.
It's not planned for.
It's sometimes, it's not planned.
You're just like, whoa.
You cannot prepare for that. Training improv could help you, but even then, it's like you never know what someone's gonna come in to a show with, to open mic with, and I mean that emotionally. Like someone could have just lost somebody that day, or somebody could have somebody on the verge of losing somebody, or they could have lost their house, got divorced, breakup, whatever it is.
Yeah, you never know.
So that's one hard part, but that's why I say when you come, try to let your guard down. Just because you'll walk away and you'll go back to what's got you, feeling like you're defeated. So come and try to refurbish yourself, walking into that new space of life so you can feel a little more rejuvenated to handle those obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
For sure.
But, life. A bunch of people say, but life is a marathon. You just got to pace yourself with everything. So pacing myself with comedy, pacing myself professionally, pacing myself, all aspects. It's just, sometimes you get knocked off of your pace, but it's okay. Just got to you get up and just keep riding the bike.
I like that. That's a good way to end, like a good segue. Yeah. I want to thank you so much for coming out. And so Casual Disasters, you can find it on any major platform. I will be making a post.
You're on YouTube, right?
No, not yet. Okay, I do need to, that's a whole other story, but soon I will be on YouTube. I haven't recorded, visually, but people are like, still, you should post it on YouTube.
Yeah, you could put a picture and then put the video.
Yeah, that's what everyone keeps saying. And honestly, I just need time in the studio here to just click yes to YouTube. It's that simple because I'm on RSS. So you guys can find this podcast on any platform, which is really cool. Minus YouTube at this point, but it will be there soon. I just need to pull the trigger, and now I have a logo. But it really could just be your guys' picture for the individual episodes and then, the sound. But yeah, that's it. And I will see you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.